Welcome to game 2 of Skate Around day 1. What number Skate Around are we on now?
It's the 6th edition.
That's
Hello,
so
I'm Toxic Lady.
I am Dark Pistol. It's very nice to see you all today.
So we are getting ready to for the second game, as you said. We have Helsinki Roller Derby All-Stars with the number 180 Quirica, 110 Sylvester, 13 Gemina Lugora, 22 Malu, 286 Ninja, 4 Pale, 404 Mandarina, 441 Xard, I have no idea if it's pronounced this way.
You're doing really well.
5-1 Morgo van der Rinst, 6-3 Pirko, 7-7-7 Gilbert, and 8-0 Mai. And they're in green today.
And in white, we have Dublin Roller Derby playing 101 Powell, 1-1 Bambi Daredevil, 167 Beast Lightning, 169 A Lowcock, 3 Rosen McGrath, 4-3 Nasher, that's our captain for today, 490 Malibu Stacy, 5-3 RG Bargy, 575 Pippa, 7-4 Disco, 8 Chancleta, 8-3 Dashing Trudy Snow, 858 Malice and Chains, 8-8 Diamond Weapon, and 9-5 Manija. Watch out for Manija. Just keep your eye out for number 9-5 today.
Good to know.
So this is the 6th edition of the Skate Around tournament in Namur. We are going to play game 2 here. We have Helsinki in green, Dublin in white. Our first game was from Namur A, which is our hosts, playing against Zurich City. It was a really good game. A lot of
Very
energy.
nice, lots of energy.
I believe the score was pretty good, decisive win for Namur this morning. I'm not going to give you the exact score because I don't have it in front of me, so I don't want to say something wrong.
I have right here, it's 190 for Namur and 87 for Zurich.
190 to 87. Yeah, I can't hear you as well as I could. We probably need to turn you back up. So we're just going to let Toxic Lady fix the levels on their headset before we actually get going. We got our skaters already set up on the jam line, and it looks like we're ready to go.
Yes. Do you hear me better?
I can hear you much better.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, it's true that I can hear myself way too well in the headset, but it doesn't matter. So here we go. We've got number 2-2 for Helsinki jamming Malu, who is now lead jammer. We've got some very good Dublin walls still setting up, but Dublin has finally made it through the inside line. That would be number 8-3, our jammer for Dublin, Dashing Trudy Snow. So Malu calls the jam. Looks like we've got a 4-0 for the score of our first jam today.
I think that's the first time I'm seeing Helsinki, actually. Ooh. Have you ever seen them play?
Yes.
Live?
Yes,
How
actually.
many times?
A lot. So Antwerp Roller Derby met Helsinki at regionals. We didn't get to play against them. We played against Stockholm. But they came to the Holy Duck tournament last year. And we played against them the tightest game ever, 166 to 164 for Antwerp. We won in the very last jam.
Wow. In the meantime, we have Gilbert and Baby Daredevil jamming respectively for Helsinki and for Dublin, and calling it off already because they're following each other quite closely.
Absolutely. That was MIDI for number 777 for Helsinki. Helsinki is a very strong team. They're number 8 in Europe. Antwerp Roller Derby is number 7. Antwerp Roller Derby I'm going to talk about not only because it's my home team, but also because it's a Belgian team. So we are here in Belgium. Namur is in Belgium.
You don't have to justify yourself and your love for Antwerp.
I feel like I do, but it's just that's how I get a lot of my information.
And we are back on the game with Ninja against Powell with very tight tripods over there.
Yeah, it looks like Dublin has some really good tripods that they are pushing and pulling as much as they can up to the point of sending people out of bounds. We've got some one-on-one action at the front, but that doesn't stop number 286 Powell from getting out and getting lead. So Helsinki is lead again. Sorry, that's Ninja. And Powell did a star stash, has come out of the pack after a lot of struggle. So Ninja goes ahead and calls it off after scoring all 4 of those points.
Yes, nice to see. Haven't seen any penalties so far, but that was interesting to see in the previous game. And I'm like, ooh, is it people adjusting to, you know, all the refs? Because when you travel this kind of tournament, sometimes you you are confronted with different type of refereeing.
But it's also the early games in the day where you have to adjust to the floor. So that's also the thing. Nobody knows how to skate on the floor, and then they all change all of their wheels like that's some kind of pit crew in the middle of a halftime. So you've got we've got our jammer 858 Malison Chains, who for some reason does a knee stop and then uses that to slow herself down and makes it through as lead jammer. So I believe this is the first lead for Dublin in the game so far. It's only been 4 jams, but it's important to note.
Yeah, and I'm speechless.
Yeah, they're fighting through. They're counting to see how many points they have. They've decided to keep going, even though Malou has made it through and is now on their scoring pass.
So both jammers are able to score right now. Malice in Chains has finished.
Yeah, Malice in Chains is in control. It didn't get through, so we'll see if they got all 4 of their points, and it looks like they did. So they got all 4 of their points. I believe they were trying to empty the box, or maybe even see if they could capitalize on that first lead of the day.
Yeah, that is possible. And you talk about the floor, and the floor in Tableau and Namur is very tricky. I hate this floor. It's slippery and sticky, at the same time. So it's every single person has their own set of wheels and their ways to adjust. And we have Gilbert jamming for Helsinki, and I can't see the number on Dublin.
It's Dashing Trudy Snow. Dashing Trudy Snow is one of their main jammers for Dublin, a little powerhouse. They did not make lead, but they are still making their way around the outside, which is also always interesting to me. It's so very hard to go through the pack on the outside. Oh my gosh. Okay, we had number 8 do sort of an interesting method of stopping a jammer, which is to run into their legs. They're going to the box for that. That's naughty, naughty.
It's not something you are supposed to do in roller derby.
It happens.
Avoid if possible.
I don't know that it was necessarily on purpose. There was probably a combination of trying to move and then the floor, and then somebody was in their way, and then they fell down, and they fell down right into the legs.
Accidents happens. And where we had a very nice defense on the Gemina Lugora on the Helsinki. Nice one-on-one action.
Gemina Lugora.
I don't know.
I'm going to try really hard. It's, yeah.
I feel like sometimes I just go into Spanish mode when I'm reading names that I do not know in language I do not know, and my brain goes there.
Yeah, but I also heard you pronounce some things in Flemish, so who knows?
Who knows? Well, we have Ninja and Bambi Daredevil.
Ninja's out for another lead. Look at that. Helsinki wall, really well braced, very cohesive, making its way all the way from line to line, really punishing that Dublin jammer. And that's Bambi, and Bambi is very strong, knows what they're doing, so, you know, really having to take like a lot of damage right there.
And the cover is on the floor, which is always like the most stressful thing. I didn't see how it came to be on the floor, but it has now been picked up by Bambi Daredevil, even though you had an array of green blockers around it.
And now that we have, oh, I'm sorry, I burped in all of your ears. I'm so sorry. So now we have Ninja, who is fighting for all the points. So it looks like on that scoring pass, Dublin was able to make things really tough on Ninja and make sure that next scoring pass that they went through on was a really tough one. But they were able to get past all of the hips. As we know, in roller derby, it's not necessarily about getting out of the pack. It's about passing all those hips. And once you get through them... Yeah,
push your butt out, push your butt out. And so 2 scoring pass for Helsinki. A very nice action.
So we've got Malou for Helsinki and Powell for Dublin. we have started, and everything is solidifying. We had number 80 from Helsinki. That would be me, or in Finnish, I believe it would be mu, like mu.
Okay, I do not know.
It was an amazing offense. They moved everyone away. That was a good one.
That is a good one.
That's a very bad joke. But it is effective. The offenses are effective, and Helsinki's sort of what I call being a tampon at the front, which is to make sure that recycling from the other team doesn't get too far away, is really effective as well. So it's keeping everyone bunched up, which is giving Malou the ability to keep going and going and going. Now, it looks like Malou was not lead. It's Powell that's lead.
Yeah.
So Malou is just trying to get as many points.
Yeah.
Powell I think is because I was talking about mu and my bad joke about moving. But it looks like Powell has decided to run this jam.
Yeah, and after making a third scoring pass, it seems like the strategy can pay off if you want to, score points.
Well, sure, and it is paying off. They are getting more scoring passes than Malou. So, and Malou has now gone to the penalty box. That was a good gamble. I would think that would be the bench coach gambling that, if Powell is able to get lead and able to get an extra scoring pass, that they can use that momentum. And it looks like maybe their defense has been able to use that momentum as well.
And we have the Dublin jammer being recycled in the middle of the pack. Very nice action on the Helsinki blockers, where we have another penalty being whistled.
You see everyone falling everywhere. I just want you all to know on the stream that it makes a big sound when they fall. There's been a lot of booms.
Yeah, definitely. On the previous game, really at the end of the game, it was lots of falls against falls against falls against falls. Especially when you just bump into other people and you have like 3 people on the floor immediately.
That's fun. That's what we love about roller derby, is watching people eat the floor. We have Malou standing in the box. So this is a power start for Dublin. So it looks like they're going to try and capitalize on this momentum they got from the last 2 jams. Given that there is that momentum, guess what has happened now? Helsinki has called for an official review.
Yeah, I was looking at that very excitingly, like, what's going on?
It's tactical.
Yes.
It's very tactical. All right, so while we wait for someone, usually our alternate is going to come and tell us what those official reviews are about. Maybe we'll go through some of our sponsors. We want you to remember always, as every time we start the stream, that we are on Derby live stream, and we would really, really like you to make a donation to the live stream, to make sure that you subscribe, to make sure that you comment and interact, because all of that, provides support for this lovely stream, which is some of the best.
Yeah, and it's free. You can watch it on YouTube, share the links. You can also rewatch all the games of all the previous editions for free. So please do donate to Derby live stream. Also, we have to thank our sponsors for the event. We have Wallonie Infrastructure and also La Région Wallonne, the Walloon region, who provided grants to the Namur Roller Derby League to organize the event. And also the city of Namur, which is renting us the hall that we are in right now.
That's excellent. And then you've also got Qualias, which is the bandage specialist and medical equipment hire, which is quite nice for us to have in roller derby. You would be surprised, maybe not. If you look out onto the track, you will definitely always see in every jam at least one person with some sort of brace, bandage, something.
Cold pack.
Something.
I think cold packs are really the roller derby best friend.
We're just like, oh, just put some ice on it and it'll be fine. Or, just tape that finger to the other finger and keep playing. Yeah, we do that a lot.
We do. Sometimes we shouldn't, but we do,
Sometimes
because
we shouldn't.
everything for roller derby, we love roller derby. We want to play roller derby. Roller derby is not being played right now because the official are reviewing the request. Maybe we will have someone to tell us a bit later what's going on. Let's talk about Helsinki roller derby. I don't know much, but I can share the information that I was given. Maybe you will learn nothing because you already know a lot. But it was founded in 2009, and it was Finland's first roller derby league. It's a full WFTDA member. And yeah, do you know what they're known for? Okay, we are going to have the information, but they're known for their strength, their toughness, their community spirit. And the league has several teams, and each of them have distinct roles and competitive levels. But let's listen about this official review.
So Helsinki asked for a low block on one of the Dublin skaters, and the official review was denied. So that means they lose their official review for this half. They get another one in the second half. But I still think it's a little bit strategic as well, because there was momentum being gained by Dublin. Helsinki was dominating those first few jams, and now Dublin was taking over. The score is 36-22. That's really close in roller derby.
And Dublin scored 18 points out of the 22 that they have. So last jam was crucial into the balance of the game.
And here we go. We have our Dublin jammer, Malison Chains, who is pushing through the front. Malou has just come in from the box. It was very short. They are eligible for lead, and guess what? They make it.
They took it with a very nice steppy-toe on the inside.
Steppy-toe, that's cute. All right, and they are coming back through for a scoring pass. They've made it really easily through the inside as well. There's no star pass for them, but Malison Chains is looking for a star pass. They're looking for the pivot at the front, and it looks like they aren't going to need them.
Just dash the star.
Malou is just waiting for an offense, trying to get those last points. As I said, sometimes it's just about the hips. They're going to call it. And, yeah, it looks like it worked. They were able to break the momentum that Dublin had from that last jam and score 7 points on this jam. So what else was there about Helsinki that you wanted to say?
There are 3 teams inside the league. We have the All-Stars, which is Helsinki Roller Derby Premier Team, and that we are watching today, but also the Bees, the B team, current Finnish champions. And the C Cassetti is a competitive team participating in Finland's national first division.
Oh, so nice when you have a country that actually has the national championships. Belgium had one once.
Yes, I remember.
Antwerp won it. I'm not biased, that's just a fact. I am a Belgian champion. I also won French championships once, so I'm also a French champion. Just want to put that out there.
So it is out there. And we have Moo, I don't know, pushing through.
Yeah, Moo.
Moo? Okay.
Moo. 80 M-U-M-Y-Y, and the Y's in Finnish are used, so Moo.
Moo.
Someone's going to correct me. Please correct me
if
you want to.
Please do correct us. We have to learn because I don't know how to speak Finnish. Oh, and we have... I hate when the covers are falling on the floor. It gives me so much...
Well, the pivot picked it back up.
Oh.
The jammer touched it, and now the pivot is the jammer. That is my favorite star pass in the world.
Little tactic, getting in legally. Just touch it and it's all good.
It's the magical power of transferring your jammer status. You just have to touch the cover, and now it's transferred, as long as it's the pivot that's holding it. It's glorious. It's so fun. It's so tactical, and everybody forgets.
I do forget about that. If as a pivot or as a jammer, I'm like, I just can want to like a very proper handshake. Like I need to receive it, like with angels bringing it, and just music all around to make it very official.
It looks like we have an official timeout, and that could be for several reasons. It may be for some track doctoring or for some other reason. But I'm going to tell you my favorite star pass technique so it's when the jammer takes the star and throws it to the pivot.
Yeah.
The pivot catches it, and then the jammer comes and they just touch the hand of the jammer and then take off.
Ah, that's so nice.
Because technically it's legal. When they throw it, the pivot is not the jammer because it went through the air. It didn't go hand to hand.
Yeah.
But then once the jammer touches that pivot,
it makes
that
it
jammer
all
panty
legal.
again, It's legal. Sorry, I said panty. I meant cover. I'm old. I'm old in Derby, and so I have habits that need to be broken. So I'm definitely going to go over and look at your stream comments for sure. But we have a new jam.
We have a ninja against a baby daredevil. We have very strong and fast action, while we have a direction being whistled to an Helsinki blocker, and we still have ninja and baby being stuck behind the tripods, with the Dublin blockers really going from the inside to the outside very fast.
Well, what I love is there's actually there's like a solid pillar in that Dublin wall with really fast legs. And
which is very efficient against fast jammers.
Yes, it is, because you have both elements in there. But Bambi was able to capitalize, therefore, get through that Helsinki wall. And they're doing some spinny moves in the inside straightaway, which is very hard, by the way.
We've seen some very hard things to do on the jammers' side during the first game as well.
So they get all the way through. The coach says to go ahead and call it, which is exactly what they do, and they rack up another 4 points.
Yeah, which allows Dublin to reach 26 and 51 for Helsinki, as you can see on your screen, which also showcases everything you need to know about the lineup. So you can have a look at who's jamming with the star. And do we know who's pivoting? I don't see anything
That's
right now.
the new EPLT, which I really like. And then I don't know if there's going to be the EPBT, which is another thing I really, really like. That's the penalty box timer that's also shown through the scoreboard. It's buggy, though.
Yes, and we have Malu jamming and taking the lead for Helsinki, while we have Powell, who's also through the pack right now. Such fast things happening.
Really fast jammers. What I like about this game right now is you can see that Dublin and Helsinki are not afraid to be all up in each other's business. So you don't have these walls that are clearly separating out. You don't have a lot of like opportunities for no pack. You don't have a lot of bridges. They're just staying up against each other, and it may seem messy, but that actually is a really good technique in order to keep the other wall from forming.
Yeah, and then it makes a big giant mess in the middle.
Exactly.
And as a jammer, you get blocked by your own blockers, who are, even if they want it, sometimes they cannot get out of your way because they are blocked by other people. So we have a strategy of the big mess still being around right now, with two tripods forming a little bit, but still
very
getting
close
into
to
each other.
Yeah. And you can see that MIDI, that's what's on their jersey, and that's how I know them, but I believe that they're called Gilberts, right? So Gilberts, MIDI, Gilbert, anyways. They're getting through very, very strong jammers. You can tell just a very strong person from the size of their shoulders, and I can tell you that when they hit, it hurts. Not only getting lead, but coming around for another scoring pass, while the Dublin jammer, Malice in Chains, is stuck in that wall without having gotten through on their initial yet. So it looks like Helsinki is starting to like push a little initiative here. Yeah.
I'm mesmerized by all this, and I'm lost for words, but I've seen Dublin only once last summer, because I want to tell about my life too, you know. So I went to Ireland for a holiday, and actually I catch the game of them playing against Northampton. And I dragged my mom and my son to see them. That was very nice. Couldn't see the whole game. I'm very glad that they came this year to skate around as well. Well, we have the end of the jam with no points for Dublin, and I can't see if anything for yes.
There was four points scored, and I believe 4 points were in the pocket. So if I'm not mistaken, it should be 8, but it looks like the scoreboard is saying 4. But you know what? Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about as well, and that is often the case, so please never depend on me, because I'm announcing, which means for me I get to have fun. This is fun for me. This is something I like to do.
We are not scorekeepers right now, so we are not keeping scores, because that's not our jobs.
Exactly. So it looks like Ninja, who was on their way for lead jammer, has done a penalty, done something naughty. Quagga on the outside is very decisive. When he tells you to go to the box, you go. So that's what Ninja has done. And so we have an opportunity for lead jammers. Lead is still open. So Dashing Trudy Snow is working their way through the front and has succeeded.
Lots of work to get
Lots
that lead.
of work.
Very nice to see.
That was from 080 Quirica. A lot of really good one-on-one work. The thing is I do want to highlight the fact that one-on-one may be very flashy, but this wall work is really, really important. I mean, look at 441 Jard, making sure that they stick with their wall. They just hit Dashing Trudy Snow out on the outside, doing a really good job of all just being together. The more you're together, the better you do.
And seeing that Ninja was back from the penalty box and finished their scoring pass, so the jam was called, and Dublin still scored some 3 points. Yes, I don't know. The thing, my brains associate green with Ireland, so I've been consciously thinking, the Irish team today is white, is white, is white, is white, is white.
Irish people don't see the sun very much, so their skin and the, uniform color is quite similar. I'm sorry, I don't mean to hate. I learned that in Ireland, they haven't seen the sun at all for the past 11 days, poor things. All right, so there's Jard getting through the fronts for Helsinki on a power jam because it looks like Bambi went straight to the box at the beginning of this jam. So we have a power jam situation. You can see Dublin trying to keep their wall together at the front. Definitely want to run away from offense, but not go too fast, because if you go too fast, then the jammer gets through too fast.
Yeah.
So all you're trying to do right now is just kill that penalty, make sure that that your jammer gets back on the track without the other jammer scoring too many points. And I will say that's some really great work by number 95. Pushing out and making sure that they did some one-on-one at the front, but you'll see 404 also prevented the recycle.
Yeah, Mandarina, who was really going in the way in preventing the recycle. Very nice thing. That's something that in my team we always forget to do, and then the jammer is crying like, why is nobody stopping these blockers from recycling me?
Yeah, I know, especially when they're just skating straight by you like your friends, and you're like,
so
shouldn't you be stopping them and not letting them do this to me?
Job. And we have an official review being asked by the white team, if I'm not mistaken. Yes.
Yep. So Dublin is asking for an official review. It has to be Dublin because Helsinki already lost their first official review, so it has to be them. It looks like we have a little correction to make. It says that Helsinki Roller Derby isn't the current Finnish roller derby champion, so I'm not sure about that. So let's just see what we said. It looks like it says the B team, the Helsinki Roller Derby Bees, are the current Finnish champions.
So
but if that's not correct,
sorry,
who is? Tell me who is the Finnish Roller Derby champion, and then we will go harass Helsinki at halftime and be like, you told us this, or maybe the wording is being used incorrectly. So if you have a Finnish national championship and it is another team that actually won the Finnish national, tell us who it is, because we're Derby nerds and we want to know that stuff. It looks like the score right now is 65-29. We've got Helsinki on top. 65-29 is not a big score differential. Even though it's about 50% at this point, that doesn't mean that it's a lot of points.
Anything. And there's only 10 minutes left, so it's not a lot of points for this first halftime. So it's been very nice to see both teams just fighting it out like they did. I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to see roller derby. The roller derby was very nice to see. So yeah, and we should not bitch about the sun because we're in Belgium. It's not like it's very sunny in Belgium anyway. I was like,
last year we only had 200 days of rain. That's almost half of the year where it didn't rain. It was a
silver lining.
That was a record.
Silver lining. and we were very happy coming to the venue this morning because it was raining all the way. And I'm like, I'm glad when it's raining and I have to stay in the hall throughout the whole weekend, because I'm like, it's not worth going outside anyway.
Right. All right. So I'm going to, just because we have the time, I'm going to talk to you about our officials, without whom we would not be able to play roller derby. Either skating or non-skating. As a matter of fact, I think non-skating officials are the bestest. But skating officials are out there like twirling around and yelling at people, so they get a lot of attention. So let's start off with our non-skating officials. So we have Jeff as a crew head. And yeah, so here, these are all the officials, though. These are skating officials, these are non-skating officials. My name is Jeff, who is the NSO crew head. And then you've got Poof, Tell Me, Lock and Roll, Migmag Tigress, we played together in Paris, Green Thunder, Flora, Math Murderer, Spady, Iconic, Dropkick Bruise, and Beren Clow. And then for our skating officials, we have NSFW, Nat Safe for Work, Big Whoop, Lil Monster, Slow Fox, Koaga, Glitter is Here, Les Crocs, and Tarao.
So the official review was Dublin asking for a cut-the-track penalty on the green jammer, and the no calls stands.
Okay. So we started a new jam. We have my friend Gilbert already pushing through that Dublin wall that is trying really, really hard to stay together. Manika, I told you to watch out for Manika, and now you know why. Really working that, making sure that they stay in contact with Gilbert at all times. They do move around a lot. They're a very nervous skater, but super strong. And Gilbert gets out for lead jammer anyways, regardless of the amazing work that's being done. Are you okay? Oh, no.
You're just coughing.
Toxic is dying, but that's going to be okay. And finally, we do have Powell, who does get out, but not before Gilbert gets through for all 4 of those points, if I am not mistaken. Now, I'm looking... I should have put my glasses on instead of, I brought them with me, but I didn't put them on.
I put my glasses on, but my eyesight is so bad I can't see properly.
It's 4 points. It's 4 points.
It's 4 points only.
I'll admit, I can't see that very clearly. I can just tell the difference between 3 and 4, even when it's blurry. So I may put my glasses on. They're really cute. They're brand new.
We have a very, 4 people finish a wall just in front of the jammer line. I've seen that more and more these past few months, and I love it.
Oh, those flat walls that pop out? Yep.
Yes.
And then you've got number 286 Ninja, who has been doing a great job in jamming today. All of the Helsinki jammers have been doing a great job, but gets yet another lead jammer, and then does some fancy juking out to the outside on 1 foot on that outside line, gets through for another 4 points easily, like going through butter. Number 169, the pivot for Dublin takes the start very sneakily as well. It's not as cute as the magical star pass before, but does it really fast, and I think there were a couple seconds before Helsinki realized. But that's fine, because they still did realize and were able to get their 4 points and call off the jam.
Yeah, there's really the strategy of not letting anyone score any points. Like, if we have the lead, we score points and nothing else matters. And we have a team timeout being asked by Dublin right now, surely to recover and breathe a little bit. We have 8 minutes.
Already? That's just only 8 minutes left in the half?
Yes.
I can't believe it's gone by so fast.
Exactly. It really felt like just a few seconds have gone since the first whistle, but we have seen a lot of different actions on these both teams, and I feel like we have seen lots of strategy decisions being made during this first halftime, and that is really interesting to see. Dublin fighting against Helsinki, who, as you said, is very well ranked in Europe.
Yes, but Dublin is also very well ranked, so we didn't really talk about Dublin, but Dublin, I believe they are number 11 or number 12.
I'm very bad at numbers, so I always forget them.
Yeah, so
we
that's
can
the thing
have
is
a
we
look.
don't need to remember what the numbers are. I can just pull them up on the WFTDA website. So they are number 11 in Europe. Dublin, actually, quite interestingly, I don't know if you're following some of the tournaments that are coming up, but we have a tournament coming up in Nantes that's called the West Track Story. It's a really big tournament, a lot like Skate Around, a lot like Holy Duck.
Yes.
Big tournament, lots of years in the running, and Dublin will be there.
Okay, nice.
So they will be coming back.
And Nantes was the big surprise of the last regionals.
Champs. They went to global champs.
And champs, but
global champs.
I was so happy at regionals to see them be able to go. Yeah, it was very nice.
They also were not. They also were very surprised. What's not surprising is to see Malou killing this Dublin wall at the front. They are working very hard, though. It is not easy to get through. I don't want you to think that given this score that Helsinki is having an easy time. Look at this wall up front. It is really hard. You've got 080 Quirica who has to go through for one offense, then another, because the pack is all the way at the front. That means they're having to string out at the back. That's giving a bit of an opportunity for 8-3 Dashing Trudy Snow to try and get through, because when they pull off like a bridge or two, sometimes that can be a great opportunity. Ooh, what did Malou do? Malou?
I didn't see that, but I was mesmerized by all the Dublin blockers who were also resisting offense of the Helsinki team, which is a very difficult thing to do.
Absolutely.
So that was very impressive, and keeping the jammer in the inside and really preventing them from going through the apex. Wow, that was very nice. And we have the Dublin jammer being recycled by the number 51, Margot van der Ginst. Oh, that's the name that I pronounce a bit
you said Van der
Dutchly.
Ginst.
Yeah, because it's Van der, so you know.
It's Van der Ginst.
Yeah.
It's Van der Ginst, I think.
Ginst.
Let's just stick with that. Let's just stick with that to make sure that I don't say anything wrong again.
Please do correct us and inform us on the stream about our mispronunciation, or maybe where these names come from. We are always very happy to hear about that. While we have Dublin having the lead right now, and
finally getting the lead. I don't know if you noticed that, but it took almost 2 minutes. They finally got the lead. After Malou went to the box for 30 seconds, came back, still hadn't gotten it. Then they finally got the lead.
And
Scored 2 points.
Oh, I was looking at
two
this.
little points.
See, you can see better with your glasses than I can see with mine.
I really can. So I just want to give a shout out. Thank you very much, Camille, for letting us know that the current Finnish champion is actually Kallio Rolling Rainbow, but also is from Helsinki. That is very important distinction.
Oh.
I love my Kallio family. You're one of the first international teams, like from very far away, that I played against when I was with Paris. Love you, love you. And the Helsinki Bees actually hold a bronze medal. So we will not be making that mistake again. We kind of understood also that the Helsinki B team is actually representing Helsinki Roller Derby in the national championships, and the Helsinki A team is doing their WFTDA international only teams. So they have different teams that are completely separated.
Okay.
This is something you'll see happens a lot with Bundesliga as well, with a lot of German teams. They'll do the same thing.
All right. And we have Gilbert making one scoring pass and calling off the jam, seeing that the Dublin jammer was coming in.
If I'm not mistaken, that would be their second scoring pass. It's just that I was talking so much about Helsinki and the corrections that we got from...
You're absolutely right. The score has just been added to the scoreboard. That was their second scoring pass. And 83 for Helsinki, 31 for Dublin. So exciting. Less than 5 minutes into this first half time.
Oh my gosh, it's okay. So we only have 5 minutes left. We've got Ninja on the line right next to Powell.
And we have not a full crew of blockers, because you have 2 blockers from the Irish team sitting in the penalty box, and one of them is back on the track right now. Wow, that is so fast, so much offense pushing them through. And
I know, it looks like a washing machine. Everything is just turning around tourbillon, tourbillon. Huh?
We have Powell getting the lead status for
but
Dublin.
Ninja's right on their butt.
Yes, and they've seen this, like, oh, I like when the jammer look around, like, oh, someone is just behind me.
Oh my gosh, and you know what? They came in so slowly, I was absolutely sure somebody was going to steal a point, and it looks like a 0-3. So Helsinki did steal 3 points in that jam.
Very sneaky, very sneaky. And Dublin, no points? Oh, God, that is so frustrating.
All right, so I just wanted to let you know, if you do want to interact with us a little bit more on the live stream, one of the things I'm doing is reading the comments, but I can only read comments from you if you subscribe to the channel. So please subscribe to the channel, okay? And then you can make your comments. Remember, subscribing is free. So subscribe to the channel, then you can make your comments and we'll interact with you. Would you look at Malice in Chains coming through the outside, fast and furious, really punching it.
And
Great.
taking the lead. Is that the third time in a row that Dublin is taking the lead?
I'm going to trust you on that. I don't know. I don't have enough focus.
I haven't counted enough, but at least twice. And now they're coming in very strongly, trying to really make through this. Really,
And it looks like we may have had a star pass occur on the Helsinki side, which is very special because that has not happened yet. So we've got the pivot, number 10, Sylvester, who has the star in hand, is looking for, is deciding that they are no longer going to go jam and they're going to go do defense. So now you have 5 green people doing defense.
Against the white jammer, who is not enjoying this, because who would?
Yeah, their face does not look happy.
But you have Irish blockers, I can't see the number, who is really trying the best to do, and often through this very annoying green tripod that is reforming.
That's number 5-3, that's RG Bargy. RG Bargy is awesome, also awesomest name in the world. But yeah, RG Bargy is a strong offense skater, but that's a solid wall right there. You're not getting through.
Yeah, you can knock 1 or 2 people, and then they just come again.
They just stick back to you.
Magnets. Mm-hmm. And we have 5 points that have been scored by Dublin during this jam. Only 2 minutes left. Only 2 minutes left.
I cannot believe it. All right, look, we've got Gilbert and we've got Dashing Trudy Snow. So 2 very different jammer styles, but 2 very strong jammers on their way. The whistle has blown. Not a lot going on because look, as I told you before, you've got the 2 walls all up on each other. They just want to stay close, close, close. Now it's separating out. Manika, again, very annoying, getting as low as they possibly can and hitting Gilbert out. But they did a penalty. They did a penalty, and so therefore, because they did a penalty, then you've got 777 who's actually gets to go through with what would be considered a no pass, no penalty, though I do believe they had legally passed them before. That gives them lead jammer status. They've made it through. Unfortunately, they fell down. They got all their points, but they just kind of fell down in a very somersault kind of way. Just and everyone's laughing about it, so it's okay.
It's a good laugh. I was mesmerized by Dashing Trudy Snow, who was avoiding and juking and trying to avoid being hit, and was very beautiful and impressive to see. I believe it might be the last jam of this first half time because we have only 45 seconds on the clock. But what's going on? Do we have some official timeout? I feel so.
It looks like there's an official timeout, yeah, because otherwise that clock, that timeout clock would not be running. So I'm so sorry. I had no idea that my nose was going to decide to get stopped up the minute that I started announcing today, because quite honestly, earlier it was fine. But there you have it. That's what happens.
We won't hold against this. And, the sniffling, the burping. We are people. We are made of flesh. We are not AI. Roller derby cannot afford AI announcers. And I think that would be terrible. But maybe I'm wrong. And we have 86 points for Helsinki, 36 for Dublin. This official timeout, getting still a bit strong. Don't forget that if you haven't subscribed to Derby live stream, you can still do so. If you're watching on your TV, you can comment on your phone at the same time. Just grab your phone and tell us stuff in the comments.
Valentina's already called me out already. You're absolutely right. I'm confusing chancleta and manija. So you can throw your chancleta at me. I will take it. I am very sorry, but both are very awesome. I have played against both, and let's be honest, manija and chancleta don't have exactly the same style, but they have very similar aggressive styles. So I hope that we can all agree on that. But you're right, it was chancleta and not manija. Manija is 9-5 and chancleta is number 8.
Yeah, 8.
And that's the thing is I kept getting them confused, 8 and manija, number 9-5.
It happens.
I still adore both of them. I adore them. So our last jam of this half is on. We have Bambi for Dublin coming through with, that stylish sideways jammer cover on, where the star is in the front and the back instead of on the side. And it looks like our Helsinki jammer Gilbert is in the box. So this is how we started the jam. It means that we had a power start for Dublin, but it has not yet yielded a lead jammer status. We do have Chancleta, number 8, going in for offense. It was not effective at that point, but I did say the right name for the right number.
Very good.
And so I want
proud
kudos, Valentina. You debes decirme que hace muy bien este fue. Okay.
You can just confusing me with putting Spanish in there, but
Sorry.
we have, it's fine. I'm easily confused. We have Gilbert being recycled into the pack and going
Ooh,
in.
That nice spinny move on one foot on the inside line. Yes, we love it, Gilbert. Thank you. That's 4 more points. It looks like that was their first scoring pass. They are
like
lead,
it.
even though they did come in from the box. So that means that Bambi, did have to live through quite a lot of punishment. I will say number 13, Gemina Lugora. I mean, I'm gonna hope that it's an Italian name or something, because if that's Finnish,
fine.
I don't know what I'm doing anymore. But no, they have been doing some awesome defense, really sticking to the opposing jammers, making it really hard for them to get through. Again, they're one of those blockers that stays in the wall. They're not out of the wall. So, oh no, I'm on camera. I got to take off my glasses.
So it's been very impressive to see this first halftime of the second game. We'll be shortly back with you after the intermission. Don't forget to share the links to the Derby live stream to your friends and family and tell them to subscribe. That's how we get this wonderful free and high quality streaming today. See you in a few minutes, Dark Pistol.
See you soon. Welcome back to the second half of Game 2, Skate Around 6, Day 1.
Yes, second game, very exciting. We just drank and eat because we need to stay hydrated and fed. So please forgive us if we burp again on the stream.
I like how you say we when it's so clearly me.
No, I did drink. I'm not lying. I did drink and I ate stuff. Not sparkly stuff, though. So we are watching Helsinki and Dublin fighting it out. Helsinki leading with 98 points and Dublin 36. Both teams have a let's see some penalties. The Helsinki team doesn't have many penalties. Maximum is 2 for 2 players.
Yeah, but one of those players is Malu, and Malu is a jammer. You've got Mandarina, number 404, who is on 2 penalties, 1 direction, 1 forearm. That's just playing derby for me.
And on the Dublin team, we have number 8, Chancleta, who has also 8, number 8 and has 4 penalties, and a bit more penalties on the Dublin team.
You will note that Manija has 0 penalties, but Chancleta does. So Chancleta has been throwing her chancla all around.
Which everybody just throw your chancla on the track. We are now back in full roller derby mode with Ninja against Powell against this first halftime, and the lead is being taken by Helsinki. Ninja getting through the pack. Star stash activity. I don't see the star because it's been hidden. Oh, there is a star pass. The number 7-4. I can't see the name. Disco has taken the star cover
for Dublin. So
for Dublin.
I know it was a pretty quick star pass, so it looks good. 7-4 was coming in fast. That is a good sign for Dublin's pivot, because that means that they were able to effectively scare Helsinki into calling off the jam.
look at this fighting for the Jamalite action. I
love these
it.
starts. I love these starts. It's the new way, you know. And the thing is there's two different ways. If you watch champs, you had either this where everyone is just really on top of each other, or you have a lot of movement at the start. And here we're just really crowding. Oh, would you look at the way Malou got through on the inside line, even after getting hit quite hard by one of those Dublin blockers.
Yeah, they tried, and the hit was legal and perfectly well done, but it is not enough to stop Malou, who comes into a first scoring trip and calls it off and almost bumped into their jam ref. But everybody's laughing, so I think it's okay. And 2 points will be scored by Helsinki.
You know, a lot of the times the refs are very strict about that when it's on the outside, because you should be in complete control and make sure that you don't run into a ref. But on the inside, it's quite crowded in there, so they're a little bit more lenient. They know that, you know, there might be a flying skater. So we've got Gilbert for Helsinki and Dashing Trudy Snow for Dublin. On 2 very strong 2 walls. We haven't even made it over the pivot line yet. Putting on my glasses, I can see so much better.
Yeah, that is very impressive defense on the Irish side of the track right now, with a tripod very strongly holding Gilbert, even though Gilbert is also very strong. So I'm like, wow, this is...
Gilbert is super strong, but again, you've got Chancleta, who is definitely laying it all on the track, throwing that chancla out there. You know, so making sure that it is very, and doing a lot of movement, super aggressive. That being said, they've been able to stabilize, and who do we have? Number 80, Moo, coming through. You've got to correct me if I'm wrong, because I am in love with the idea that it's Moo coming in for just one nice break the wall apart offense.
And nobody prevents all this Irish blocker recycling Gilbert. I'm like, nobody's blocking them, and we still do not have any lead, even though we only have 45 seconds left of this jam.
But the jammers have switched places, so now we have the Dublin jammer in the front and the Helsinki jammer in the back. We've got a lot of really great hit-outs going on. So Moo, number 80, was able to hit them out, started to try and recycle, was blocked because of the proximity of the Dublin wall, so they weren't able to recycle very far. But there was still some recycling going on, because you have 441 who is paying attention. So Jard paying attention, making sure that there was at least some recycling. And what we have now, we had those jammers switch places. But there's, again, recycling by the Dublin wall. So now we have 777 going to recycle behind again. They've switched places again. They are all still in the corner.
And it's the end of the jam. We didn't even went around the first corner, and we have no lead, but such amazing blocking on anybody, on everybody, and good jamming as well. That was mesmerizing. I don't think I have seen that ever in real life, just in front of my nose.
So I was told that I am pronouncing Moo correctly, or at least I'm pronouncing Moo in a way that's funny enough that we like it. And so, so they asked for more Moo jokes.
Okay.
But I think you don't ask for more Moo jokes. You ask for Moo jokes.
Well, if we're switching to French, I can definitely do lots of Moo jokes, but I don't think everybody on the stream can understand. So we have a penalty that's being whistled to the Dublin pivot.
And Ninja, who just made it out for lead jammer. And this, again, it took over 30 seconds for a lead to be called. The 2 walls are really strong. They're staying together with 3, and then they have that extra free electron that's running around. We've got Chancleta hitting number 286 Ninja out to the inside and recycling them yet again. So regardless of whether or not I was calling Chancleta Manija or not, Chancleta has really been impressing me today. A lot of movement, a lot of aggressiveness, but doing that inside the wall. Oh, no, and it wasn't even Chancleta. Because I'm looking at Chancleta coming back onto the track, so it was somebody else that just reminded me of Chancleta.
I try to look at numbers because I'm very bad at recognizing people. Also very bad at
I swear to God, if that was Manika, it probably was. and
You're
I
just confusing
and I just
people.
mixed them up again. No, I'm.
We have Malou against Powell. That's what we have now.
Ooh, look at that! Excellent juke to the outside.
Very
So
impressive.
fast.
And Malou takes the lead. Helsinki has gone over the 100, the 100 points line.
The century mark.
The century mark. That's how you say it in English.
And now we have Powell, who just made it through while Malou was scoring points, came in as fast as possible to be able to force that call off. And because they were able to force that call off, that was 3 points instead of 4.
I'm just recovering from this 2 minutes jam that we've seen before, and I'm looking at what's going on. We have the pivot of Dublin going to sit in the penalty box in between jams, and we have the Helsinki blockers just taking this the jam line, 4 of them just aligned, while we have the Dublin
Just
blockers
dominating it.
doing a tripod in front of Gilbert, who's pushing. Gosh, that push,
But
so
now
efficient.
But the thing is now there are only 2 Dublin blockers because we had another one of them go to the box. So that means just the 2 of them are going to have to go to the back, make sure that they do some serious defensing. Unfortunately, because that Helsinki wall was able to smush up onto them, they created an offensive opportunity on the inside, letting Gilbert score 4 points. The pivot has now come back in from the box. We've got 1 Dublin skater who is also standing. Gilbert doesn't care, no freezing necessary, just going to keep skating because that was Malison Chains finally getting out for an initial pass while Gilbert scored 2 scoring passes, and that was the 3rd scoring pass. We'll see how many points will be given for that one.
And I want to do a shout out to number 13, Jemina Lugora, who very effectively just blocked the offense that was against their jammer in a very effective way on the inside. I'm like, ooh, that's a little corner. I thought that the jammer was going to get in. And no, Jemina Lugora came in and just prevented them. Very impressive.
Yeah, it's nice to see some derby intelligence as well. It's not just about like blocking the jammer or doing an offense to get your jammer through. It's about knowing what the other blockers are doing. We've got Ninja and Dashing Trudy Snow back on the line. I mean, we have the same jammers for both of these. They know that this is kind of a high-stakes game. They're kind of close in terms of rankings, and in terms of gameplay. So they're working very, very hard. Again, like I said, regardless of what the score says, this is really hard, and you can tell. Ninja has gotten through as lead jammer, while Dashing Trudy Snow is still trying to dash through the Helsinki snow. Just finally made it through. That was a good joke, too.
I heard that.
It finally made it through for their initial pass. Since Ninja was on their scoring pass, they decide to call it. I wasn't able to count up whether they got all 4 points, and it looks to me like Slow Fox is also wondering how many points that was. It was 2.
Thank goodness you can consult with other refs and talk about it, so you can be sure, or surer, or unsurest.
Maybe. I think it all kind of depends. They err on the side of caution, I think. So I think maybe if Slow Fox was sure that he saw 2 and didn't know if maybe he saw a 3rd, then he decided to just give 2.
So many things happening right now, going from inside to the outside so fast with Malou and Bambi Daredevil, and it is lead for the Dublin team. It hasn't been the case in a while, if I'm not mistaken. And wow, this is, I don't see any tripods, but I see players being magnets to each other, which is very impressive when you're moving very fast, but you're still managing to keep with your teammates and do some very nice defense.
The walls are moving really quickly, but they're not going very far, which is really hard to do, is to be able to move quickly but not go forward. And so then that way you can block, 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 block over and over again, stay together, stay on top of those other skaters, and get the most points that you possibly can, which is exactly what Bambi did. They were able to score all 4.
Track being repaired right now. I'm always stressed out when I see track doctors and I don't see any refs looking at them, but it's fine. The track has been repaired. We are ready to go into the 9th jam already of this second half time.
So we have Gilbert for Helsinki and Powell for Dublin. It looks like the matchups are very similar. They've got the rotations that they like against the walls that they like. We had a pretty big hit from number 80, Moo, who was moving in the wrong direction. So they are going to the box. While Gilbert comes through, is still not gotten through, actually. I believe they're on their initial pass. We have Powell, who is lead jammer, coming in for a scoring pass. So it looks like Dublin is getting a bit of momentum. Chancleta throwing their body everywhere to try and get some points, at least for Powell. Powell is up against a really strong two-wall at the front with number 441, that Jar, that I have said their name quite a few times.
Yeah.
Super impressed by their strength and their stability. Again, love to shout out those blockers that are strong and stable and stay together because you need them.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because sometimes you don't see because how efficient they are, because you see where the action is, when something going fast, someone pushing someone out of the track very impressively, but actually we don't have to underestimate strong jammers that are blockers that are blocking the middle and very stable.
Yeah, we had a no pack situation. Number 404 kind of went down with a weird sound that I didn't like, I must say, when somebody makes it. That's not cool. But then you had number 80 Moo hitting the jammer out to the outside. So they got recycled. The Dublin jammer got recycled. Now you have Gilbert going to the box, and I'm looking. They did a high block, so that's not okay as well. You're not supposed to hit people in the head or with your head. So Powell is now fighting their way through, and it's over.
Yeah.
For this one scoring pass 2 times.
Yes. Wow, that is. I'm mesmerized and tired, and yeah. Well,
they make me
exhausting.
tired.
The thing is, I'm really focused on how we're doing, and sometimes I feel my heart racing when I see so much action being made, and it's so impressive. There's so many things happening at the same time. Like, I want to comment on some things that I've seen, like 30 seconds ago, but a million actions happen in the same way.
There's no time.
There's no time, and it's so impressive. Do we have an official team timeout? And
Okay.
the board doesn't show the colors of the team, so I'm very confused. So I can't see which team is it. Where's the jam timer?
Well, it does say a team timeout, but the jam timer is not indicating any of that.
Okay, so that's,
usually
that's why I was like, I'm trying to make sense of things that are
I'm going to say it's not a team timeout. I'm going to say it's an official timeout because if you look at that, we have our NSOs coming out of the penalty box. That means that they had to go into the penalty box to verify something. The NSOs have to take care of a lot of numbers and a lot of moving parts, and so they need to talk to each other. And guess what we do? We separate them and go, no talkie. No talkie at all. It would be really nice if they could talk to each other.
It's good. It's just paperwork today. They're not working on tablets. I don't think so. So sometimes when all the tablets are nicely coordinated, it's very nice to do some NSO work.
But we do have some tablets because otherwise we wouldn't have this lineup on your screen
very
today.
True.
So the reason that you can see who the jammer is, who the lead jammer is, and the names of the people, of all of the blockers, is because we have a lineup tracker. They're a penalty lineup tracker, actually, and they're entering that information for you live. Thank you very much. Ooh, would you look at that? That was a fast lead gotten by Malice in Chains.
Yeah, Malice in Chains just went in the middle of the pack and got through so efficiently, taking advantage of being
in a power jam situation, which is what you want. Oh, and that inside line, toe stop hop, that was amazing. There were a lot of skates in their way, and they just got over every single one of them. I'm looking straight down that line, and that jam ref is absolutely correct. There was no cut.
Oh, but on the outside,
there was this time.
I was like, is it also the same on the outside? But no, apparently skates were out of the track, so they're being sent to the penalty box. It's a power jam switcheroo, and we now have Gilbert being in a power jam situation.
Gilbert in a power jam situation doing a nice little spinny hit to number 167, and apparently they did something wrong. I didn't see what it was. Oh, it was a low block. Okay.
It was a low block. So
I didn't see it, but it did. I was like, it's kind of weird to spin like that and actually send a blocker flying. So.
No, it was not supposed to happen that way.
So we got another power jam for Dublin. So Malice in Chains gets to go in there and show all of their malice with none of the chains. And is able to do it. Malice gets through all the chains, apparently. And so that's yet another scoring pass.
Yes.
So
Dublin is scoring during this jam. This is very interesting to see. And we have Gilbert now. Both jammers are back on the track. And there's still 20 seconds on the clock. That was going to last the full 2 minutes.
And they pushed well through the middle of the pack. I heard a no pack being called quite clearly. I'm sure you could hear that on the stream, actually. So Gilbert is able to get through for their first scoring pass, while Malice in Chains is going in for their third scoring pass. So now we know that Malice in Chains got 4 points, and it looks like Gilbert was able to get 1.
Okay.
And they went to the box twice.
Yes.
In that jam.
That's my favorite thing when you have the jammers going back and forth from the box and to the box in one jam. I'm like, is it... What's going on? We have less than 15 minutes on this second half time. Dublin has scored 12 points during the last jam. I'm not good with numbers, but I think it's one of the highest scoring jams that they've had so far.
No, for this half, but in the first half
yes.
they had that 18-point
That's
jam.
true. That allowed them to reach 22 points.
Yep.
So yeah, back on this. They're really, when they get the lead, usually each of the team just take the lead, take the points, and stop. And this is the second time that they just really
were able to run it. But that would be the power jam situations that gave them that opportunity to keep running it. And not only the power jam situations, but the fact that you had both jammers go to the box, which meant it was a 2-minute jam, which just means that those jammers have to work. They have no choice. They can't go, oh, I'm tired, I'm going to call it off. Because that's why you call it off, jammers, right? Because you're just tired.
That's what I do anyway. And then my bench is like, keep going. I'm like, oh.
No.
But that's how you score like 16 or 20 points. Because if I was just listening to myself, I would just score 8 and then call it off. Because I'm lazy.
Oh my goodness gracious. So this is so funny to me every time it happens. You've got the skaters, they're lined up. You have the 5 seconds called. But the thing is that instead of the jam whistle, there's the timeout whistle because it's an official timeout for some reason. And so everybody's ready to go and then they're like, oh no.
Yes, we cannot go. And they push each other and also smile like, oh, I'm sorry, I should not have touched you. But that happened. So let's do that.
So I saw some sign language going around. We have the bench coach for Helsinki, who is kind of coming to the middle of the track, was considering perhaps taking an official review based on some feedback from one of their skaters, but may have decided not to do so. So would you look at that? Tell us what happened.
What happened is that we had a ninja who came on the outside and just tippy-toe the way I love it, the way I admire it on the outside and took the lead before even the pivot line.
And Dashing Trudy Snow has finally gotten out for their initial pass, actually did so quite quickly. That being said, Ninja has also gotten out and gotten all 4 points. They're looking at their bench to check whether or not they should call it. Why? We got somebody in the box.
Yes, exactly, but they decide to call it anyway. Don't you like it when players are listening to their coach and looking at them? I'm sure that you appreciate that.
I really appreciate it. It's something that happens 50% of the time while I'm bench coaching, which is great. And what I love is when they call it and I go, no, and they come back and go, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. It's not fine. But you have to say
it's fine because you have to take care of your players because they're the ones sweating on the track.
You're sweating on the bench too.
That's true. Oh, and it's a power jam with Malo being sent to the penalty box, and we have Baby Daredevil being the sole jammer on the track right now, and I can't see them because I can't see the star, and because I have I saw that.
They're right in front of you now.
Yes, now I can't see that.
Yeah, but we've got some good movement, some good hit and turn blocking. Again, we have that nice little 2-wall at the front by Helsinki, which they're quite good at. But unfortunately, because their other 2 blockers were at the back, they had to make sure that they didn't go out of play. So they had to let Bambi go. Bambi was able to score all of the points. In the meantime, we've got Malu coming back onto the track. I don't know. I would really like to see the penalties maybe a little bit later, but I believe that Malu is on their 5th penalty.
That would be interesting to see. So everybody's going so fast. Malu is just pushing through that wall of Irish blockers.
Doing a lot of nice sort of like swivel moves to get through, so they were also able to score all of their points. You've got Bambi, who's lead jammer, who had the opportunity to call it, was being yelled at to call it, I believe.
Finally called it, maybe.
And then finally did call it and looked kind of disappointed in themselves that it looks like Malu may have been able to score a point or 2, and they did.
Yeah, 1 point for Helsinki.
Now that I think about it, I may be wrong that Malu has 5, because I know that Gilbert has a few penalties, and now Malu...
Are you confusing Malu and Gilbert?
No, I'm not. No, I know the difference between Gilbert and Malu. I know that. And I know the difference between Chancleta and Manika. Because Chancleta is on the track right now. Please let it be Chancleta.
What is on the track is a very fast action. We have
fast and sticky.
Yes. I thought I saw someone taking off the cover, but I was mistaken.
Not yet. You've got Powell 101 jamming for Dublin out through the front and lead jammer. All of these leads in these last 11 minutes of this game for Dublin are very important. I cannot stress enough that 128 to 67 is still possible for that score.
And we have
to shore up. Yeah.
And we have Ninja being kept very dutifully at the back of the pack by the Dublin blockers. Oh, double action offense, very coordinated of the Helsinki. But you had the number 169 of the Dublin team. What's their name? A Lowcock, okay, who was very efficient, keeping the jammer by oneself. Very impressive. I wish.
And didn't do any low blocks. It's their derby name. It's their derby name. I just made a mistake. I just made a mistake. It wasn't on purpose at all. All of my bad jokes are all my good jokes are accidents. The bad jokes were on purpose. All right, so we've got number 441. That's Jard going to the box. I know that's going to hurt for Helsinki because, again, they have been one of those really pillar players. You've got, wow, Powell coming through with an amazing offense. I don't even know how they did that. No one was on the inside.
How did that happen? That's their 3rd scoring pass. And
unfortunately, Ninja is being punished by Chancleta, by Lowcock, by Pippa. They're taking turns making sure that Ninja cannot ninja through.
I'm clapping my hands as well because 16.
Dublin.
Yeah, that is so impressive.
It's 128 to 83. We just went from a 60-point difference to a 20-point difference. Roughly, okay? Don't check my math.
I'm bad at math.
Approximately. You're like, I'm bad at math, but I'm pretty sure you're wrong. Hey, approximately.
We are both agree that this is a great game and we are very excited. We are seeing Malu and Malice in Chains. Oh, gosh, this...
Okay, Malice in Chains just got through on the inside line at the front. Dublin has another lead. I think that's 3 leads in a row. Really important. Yeah. And Malu has gone to the box one more time.
Power jam.
You've got a power jam for Malice in Chains. However, Malice in Chains has also gotten a penalty. That means this is not only a 2-minute jam because Malice was lead, but you have jammer switcheroo.
And Malu was not in the box for a very long time, so I think Malice in Chains is going to be
already
back.
Standing. Yeah. There's a no pack. I have to say, this back IPR, very clear no packs. Here comes Malice. Malice came in to the back of 080. Unfortunately, Quirica felt it, and Malice knew it. Malice knew it right away.
And went back to the penalty box very obediently.
Yes. They knew what they had done, and they felt bad about it. But there goes Malu doing a cut on the inside line. So we have Malou going to the box. That means that
Madison Chase is going to
Madison
come
Chase
back.
is going to come right back out.
Didn't have even the time to stand up during the time, so less than 20 seconds also.
But we
for
have
Malou.
another switcheroo. That means that Malou is also going to be coming out. I am going to get these
penalties.
These penalty stats for you. I'm going to get them for you for sure.
Well, we have Madison Chase being recycled at the other pack, and Malou back on the track as well. And there's 15 seconds to go, and both of the jammers are trying and actually able to score points. Well, at least Malou was able to score 4 points. I think, I believe that there was a first scoring trip, if I'm not mistaken, and trying to get to a second. And actually, both jammers scored points. We had
both jammers scored 4 points, and
actually,
then there's
5
4
for
more
Helsinki.
and 1 more. So we have 5 for Helsinki and 4 for Dublin
total. Out of all of those things that just happened, which was too much to happen in one jam. That was too much for one jam.
What jams? Jam 14.
I definitely need the penalties, so I'm going to go get them for you. I'll be right back.
Thank you for getting the penalties. So we have the referees just talking about stuff in the middle. We had lots of penalties during this last jam, so maybe they have to adjust about stuff. I believe it's an official time. Yes, it is. We are showing the penalty board right now. So Malou indeed has 5 penalties, and so most of them occurred during this second half time. Actually, lots of Helsinki players did make some penalties during the second half time.
Yeah, there were a lot of penalties. Can you go to Dublin for us? So I was right. Malou has 5, and then if you look at that, okay, we have RG Bargy that has 4, but I'm looking at the jammers, and we do have 3 for Malice and Chains. Just want you to know, for jammers, that's a lot. That's a lot. And it does look like Dublin has a lot of penalties in this game. They have a lot more than Helsinki, but I believe that if you're looking at Malou, one of your main jammers, one of your most successful jammers, who just had a couple jams where they had penalty spirals like that, there has to be some thought of like, what do I do? Because they have 5.
Yeah, and
if they get one more,
that is difficult. Madison Chase got most of penalties during the last jam because I don't believe how many there were before, but there was 2 in the last jam, so 2 out of 3. That's
2 out of 3 were in one jam. Yeah,
that's nothing, and we are in the last 10 minutes, last 7 minutes of this game. So yeah, you have to readjust. You have to be mindful. What do you do with your jammers that have already a lot of penalties? That's what going to see about now. I think we moved to some kind of review.
It looks like we have an official review from Helsinki, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, it is an official review from Dublin.
Okay, but everybody gathered very nicely in the middle of the track, and now it's official on the scoreboard and on your screen as well. So we do indeed have the Dublin coach explaining something.
Yeah, as you can see from the sign language, that the Dublin coach is explaining that when you go north and then you go east,
we can dubs what Mighty Dubs.
We're going to dubs what the Mighty Dubs is saying.
So, okay.
Oh, I love this. I finally got a nice interaction on the stream. So, a low cock. So even though we had fun making a nice little low cock joke, that is actually their name, is Ashley Lowcock.
Okay.
That's their name.
Okay.
First name, last name.
I'm very glad that if you have such a mighty name that you were born with, you just wear it proudly on a Derby jersey shirt.
Own it, own it.
Yeah, that's
for
absolutely
sure.
great.
And I also have to add to the fact that I love Irish last names because usually to my American ear, they sound funny. They sound funny to me. For you, you're like, this is normal. We have, low cocks and high cocks. In the U.S., we don't. But we have a lot of other really weird names that sound funny to other people, which is fine.
Well, my last name is very French, and usually it's hilarious to go in overseas and seeing the face of people, reading it, and trying to pronounce it. So my last name is Vigneault instead of Vignaud.
Vignaud.
Because they try to pronounce every letter, and I'm like, nah, it's good enough. I think that's me. I'll let you do it. So we still are in the official review time.
And it's going on quite a long time. So I don't know if you have this like idea, but for me, every time I take an official review as a bench coach and the officials are talking about it for a long time, in my mind, I won. If they have to talk about it for a long time, that means
Because
I won my official
you created
review.
the doubt, and you know they're really taking that into consideration.
It doesn't work, but I would say that I have a 70% success rate.
We can also take this time to thank the members of Street Medic of Belgium who are on hand this weekend to provide first aid that has been already useful during those first 2 games.
All right, so now we're getting information from our alternate skating official who is coming to tell us what the official review was for and whether or not it was granted. So we'll see whether that call is going to be made or if the no call stands. And let's see whether or not my hypothesis of a long official review means an official review was won. And actually, I'm correct because I just saw Slow Fox go over to the Helsinki bench and tell them that there was an unsporting conduct and that somebody had to go to the box. So I was correct, and guess who it is? It's Malu.
Yeah, so white team, the Dublin team was indeed asking for, they were asking actually for illegal exit, but actually Malu was sent to the Berlin was for insubordination.
I thought they didn't use that word anymore.
Maybe I misheard what I was told.
No, it's probably just people forget to use the new words.
Okay.
But yeah, they don't use insub anymore. It's something else. But so now that means that Dublin is on a power jam. Dublin is on a power jam, and Malu is sitting in the box on their 6th penalty. So just so you know, you're only allowed to get 7.
And we have Dashing Through the Snow, who managed to get through the pack at the first turn and has done the, I'm losing all my words, but it's the first, the first pass.
Yes, it's their first scoring pass because they have made it to lead. Malu is now out of the box and is fighting their way through this really strong Dublin 4 wall at the front. We've got my favorite skater, Chancleta, another one of my favorite skaters, 575 Pippa. They work together quite often and quite well. And so you have Malu, who is still trying to fight their way through. Dashing Trudy Snow, they've been on a scoring pass. Now they're coming in for another one.
Yeah, these shoulders pushing.
And getting through the inside line like it's nothing. Very good offense on the part of Dublin. So that's more points to them. And it looks like they've decided, since they have somebody in the box, that they're just going to keep running this jam. So that means that Dashing Trudy Snow is not going to call it until they decided to call it now.
Who knows why? I was kind of wondering if they were trying to go over the century mark as well. That was like, is that what they're going for?
I think they could have kept going, because the thing is that if you look, you still have 0 points from Malu, even though they were on their scoring pass. You have to remember that Malu did score 4 points, but the thing is that they were stuck behind that wall, and so they weren't scoring any more points. So they probably kept going, especially consider Malu being on their 6th penalty.
Maybe people are just tired. Sometimes as a jammer, I'm just like, I'm too tired. I'm not going to do anything interesting now, and then let me go back to my team.
Here's Gilbert trying to fight through a 3 wall, become a 2 wall, become a 1 wall. What's a 1 wall? Become 1-on-1. Number 88, Diamond, was not able to keep them. Gilbert was able to get lead jammer. Gilbert was able to get lead jammer. Meanwhile, we had a star pass from Dublin. That's number 5-3, Magic. Magic. Yeah?
Is it
no,
Magic?
It's not. It's Archie Bargy. It's Archie Bargy. Which is awesome. Again, it's just a very Irish thing to say, Archie Bargy.
And Archie Bargy is through managing their initial pass. And yeah, Gilbert just looking very dutifully at where Archie Bargy was and calling it off before Archie Bargy could score any points. 4 points being scored by Helsinki. So we have 141 and 97 for Dublin and 4 minutes on the clock right now. We haven't thanked our volunteers and photographers for this event. Thank you, all the volunteers who helped to organize everything, the catering, the merchandising, selling merch. That doesn't mean anything. What I just
Ninja
said.
just got through on the outside very quickly for lead jammer. So number 286 is going to be racking up another lead and some more points, whilst Powell, number 101, is going to be fighting their way through the pack, still not making it. They did do a star pass though. That star pass went to number 169. That would be Ashley Lowcock. Lowcock actually is not an Irish name. I just found out on the stream. It's Canadian. Still sounds funny to me, but it's not funny. It's their name.
Yeah.
And they were able to score 2 points. They stole some points as pivots. Very good job. Not easy to do with these walls.
No.
Not easy to do with these jammers.
No, the hits were so strong when they came just in front of us. I'm like, oh, I don't wish to be pushed by these shoulders and these shoulder hits because they are so effective. They are so strong, even though it's only the last 3 minutes of the game and they should be tired, but they're not tired of showing us really great roller derby.
Good derby. Yeah. Okay, so we're down to 2 minutes and 44 seconds. So maybe the score is kind of what you would expect it to be, but Dublin doesn't care because they're going to do everything they can to get more leads, more points. Number 858, Malice in Chains makes it through on the inside with a beautiful offense from their wall that they were able to do offense to defense super fast. That means that we've got Gilbert stuck still on their initial pass while Malice is going through for a scoring pass and is coming through for yet another one. And it looks like we have a star pass going for Helsinki. So Malu has sent it off to number 10. I'm interested to see whether or not Malice is going to call it. Or, oh, would you look at that? That was some beautiful,
so beautiful
backwards,
skating.
outside skating to get through the wall. I don't know who this
hits.
I don't know who this pivot is, but they certainly skate like a jammer. That would be number 10, Sylvester. You know what? They're an impressive blocker. I can see why maybe you would want to keep them as a blocker, but consider letting them jam sometimes.
But the thing is, maybe they have been pivoting a lot, and we haven't seen,
We haven't seen a lot of star passes.
That's true. I say, and especially on the Helsinki side,
where they don't need to do it. Yeah.
Maybe we'll see more of that during the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, we'll have to see that during different games. We got 858 Malice in Chains trying to get out through the front to get out around 080. And it looked like they were having a little one-on-one action. And from what I could tell, unfortunately, Malice looks like they are quite hurt in the hip. From what I can tell, there was a bit of leg locking going on. So I don't know if that's the actual penalty, but I do know it hurts when you do that.
That hurts.
And so Malice has gone to the box. That means that our number 10, oh poor thing, Sylvester, who is the pivot, who went through, did one of the most beautiful outside backwards skating moves, also taught us why maybe they're a pivot and not a jammer, because they can do it once, but then it's the second time and they're like, I'm done, which is quite typical for a lot of pivots. It's I can do it one time, I can get you 4 points, but then after that, it's time to go home.
That depends how you train, right? But we had 12 points being scored by Dublin on the last round. So 111 for Dublin and 156 for Helsinki.
Sorry, I'm about to burp.
Don't keep it in, it's better out, but thank you for being mindful of that. This stream is awesome. I'm having the best time.
Me too.
Watching this, listening to you discreetly burp outside of your mic, it's amazing. We have 16 seconds left on the clock.
16 seconds, yeah. You know what? We are having way too much fun because both halves went by way too fast.
Yeah.
Way too fast. So first of all, okay, Toxic Lady here, Dark Pistol here. We are having a great time on the stream. Please let us know if you had as much fun as we did.
If not, we're
sorry. We're sorry, and
sorry.
we will never do it again. But at least
I can't promise that.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm doing the next game. So you're going to have to deal with us again. But do let us know if you enjoyed this. What's really great, we've got this last jam. So guess what? We have Dublin, who is standing up at their bench after Helsinki took an official review. If I'm correct, Helsinki took an official review in order to be able to use that as a timeout so that they could have one last jam, which I love. More derby is always better.
Yes, and we definitely want to see more of this derby. And that's Ninja going through. Oh gosh, this
power
Irish
jam.
Yeah, it's a power jam. Because Madison Chains was sitting in the penalty box. Oh.
And Madison Chains did that move again where they went down on one knee to stop. I mean, a one knee stop is a derby stop, but it scares me. I don't like it.
It feels like
maybe. But they got through and they got lead.
I feel like Madison Chains is doing that each time in a way to prevent their body to get outside of the track.
Sure, it's a stop.
It's
a derby stop. Like, it's a legitimate stop to put your knee on the ground.
In a way to just decrease the speed, but not stop it completely, which I feel is interesting. I would not try that with my knees, but I feel interesting. If you trust your body that much to do that, yeah, go for it.
So just so you know, we have a 2-minute jam because we have Malice in Chains who has gone to the box for something. And then I'm very sorry that we don't know what, but it doesn't matter. Malice in Chains has gone to the box, and that means that even though they had the lead, since they have gone to the box, that means the lead has gone away. That makes it a 2-minute jam. So we have Ninja, who is going to have to fight their way through this pack. They have taken the star off. They haven't been able to do a star pass. This is still their initial pass. Malice in Chains comes back from the box. Guess what they do? Hippity-hoppity over the inside line. And they're scoring points because they were on their initial pass. When they went to the box, they had to do another initial pass. There's a lot of stuff going on, and this is going to go on for 2 minutes. So keep your eyes peeled, keep your ears open, keep it up, because this is just more derby, more exciting derby. We've got 5 seconds left in the jam. So many people going to
the penalty box. Like, everybody's trying their best. Like,
everyone's
let me just go for it.
Fighting everything. And guess what? Malice in Chains was able to get through that last scoring pass, put 4 more points on the board, making their team proud. Excellent, excellent derby. I loved this game. I loved it so much.
It was amazing. I can't wait to see all these people very soon again during this tournament. I wish we could see the penalty board, but the penalties were really low during the first halftime. I feel like the second halftime, everybody just adapted strategy and just went for it for the effective offense, and it was sometimes effective, sometimes not. Really interesting to see that Dublin, when they have the lead and they manage to keep it, they can score quite a lot.
They were able to score quite a lot. As a matter of fact, I would say that this is a game of momentum because these two teams. Again, that's 41 points difference.
That's
I can do math. 41 points is not very much.
It's
not. That just shows that the rankings are correct.
Yeah.
These teams are very close in rankings. They're very close in skill level. They're very close in their type of game, the way that they were all bunched up around each other. I mean, it was amazing to watch, to comment, and
the score is official now. So Helsinki has won 156, Dublin 115.